Hello, dears. Jamie Flares here. I may or may not, that was the drawer in my knee. I may or may not continue these, but I feel called to offer some maybe frequent musings into the space about life and this human adventure that we're all on, without any assumption that I know more than you or anyone else, but as a way of just more deeply engaging in this human adventure and sharing what is stirring inside as a way to connect. So I've been noticing, I know you've noticed, we're in some crazy times, some crazy transitional space. And I'm noticing among my loved ones that there's a lot of talk around what other people are choosing and what other people are perceiving and what others are doing and, what's right and what's wrong and just this whole, there's a lot of looking outside to understand and grapple with and dance with what's there, what's out in the world, whether that be decisions around our health or around our activities, whatever it might be. There's a lot of looking out there. And there's a lot to be with. There's a lot to explore out there. And I always feel, I always come back to this kind of natural law premise that, that which is outside also lives inside of us. And, that which is here is also here, that which is as above, so below, as below, so above. This Hermetic principle. Anyhow, so, I'm always stirring and exploring, what's happening under the surface, what are all these things actually about when we whittle down to their essence. And I think there's a lot of themes around choice and freedom and control and perception and intention. There's just a lot up for all of us to explore in this current landscape of our human shared experience and also deeply personal experience. So how do we respond? I guess that's the question. What do we make of these things, especially when we feel like there's these forces happening outside of our control or things that are happening outside of us, that we have feelings and experiences of. And how do we be with that which hurts and aches in the world as well? Those are a lot of questions. I was speaking with a wonderful coach recently, and I was saying that, I have this deep ache in my heart to somehow make the world a better place, right? And he thought about it for a moment, and he asked me the question, why do you feel responsible for the world? And I was like, I hadn't thought about it that way. I don't know if that's what it is. I don't know that it's that I feel responsible for the world. It's that I deeply care and want to be engaged in the experience of this world with the intention of bringing my own essence to the party in order to bring more love into the world, not in a woo-woo flighty way, but in a real authentic, organic, from my essence, not from an identity that I've connected to, but from my essence way. And so I'm kind of weaving some threads here, but going back to that Hermetic, as above, so below, as without, so within, how do we save the world? How do we change the things outside of ourselves that feel problematic to us? There's lots of ways, and I won't pretend to recount all of them right now. There's lots of ways we can get involved in organizations and communities. We can choose to take action out in the world. There's a lot of things we can do, but there's also this invitation that's being offered to us right now, which is to go deeply inside of ourselves, deeper than we've ever gone before, to mine our own psychic material, our own beings, for that which is ready to come to light and be seen and to be witnessed and to be embraced and to be transformed inside of ourselves. So, there's this idea which can sometimes get a little distorted, which is everything that you can see outside of you exists within yourself, right? And if we take that literally, it can be like, well, I see that children are being trafficked, or I see that the forests being destroyed, and like those are not me. Like I don't identify with those aspects of the experience of humanity, the experience on this planet. And it doesn't necessarily have to be literal. Like you don't have to find the abuser inside of you in that like literal way that it is expressing and manifesting out in the world. But there is an invitation to get to the essence of those things in the human experience that are expressing in these maybe extreme ways, and to go, what is in there for me? Not as a way to find another reason to be responsible for the world, but to take ownership for that which is yours, and do your tiny small part of this great work that we're all doing collectively to work with what's there, to work with what's inside. And so, we might meet the parts of us that tend to abandon ourselves when we find vulnerability, or parts that are hard to be with, or experiences or emotions that are hard to track and sustain connection with. Maybe it's the way that we treat our own inner child. Maybe it's the way that our well-meaning protective parts limit our capacity to live into our full potential. There's all these aspects of ourselves that we can continue to be invited into from these phenomena that happen outside of ourselves. So it's a both and. It's how to be with the ache of the world and how to be with the ache inside of ourselves. And sometimes it's easier to focus on the outside. Like, let's look at what these people are choosing and what these countries are doing and what this leader is doing and what this organization has said. And I've been keenly aware lately of all this outsourcing of our own wisdom that we do. For example, my hairdresser was like, not to call her out at all, but she was like, the doctor's office still requires masks, therefore I will. And so it's this outsourcing of like, I'm going to look to you for my answer of what's right now, rather than looking inside of myself and being true with what I believe and what I know to be true and what feels right and true for me and most caring and most generative for those around me. That constantly right now we're being offered this opportunity to go, I see this out on the outside. Like, what's here for me? Not like I have to take on the world or solve any problems. Like, we're not here to save the world. We're here to save ourselves. We're here to actually continue to be in this generative dialogue, this generative relationship with all parts of ourselves, all parts of our experience. So this is getting long, and these are some musings. I'd be curious what lights up for you, what you pick up. Again, I'm not coming as like a teacher of any great spiritual wisdom, but just more as a deeply engaged human that's curious about how to be in the world right now. So I'd love to hear your thoughts, and thanks for listening.